Hello and welcome to 1000 Word Interviews. My name's Mordecai and today I'm joined by Tiffany.
Hello.
Tiffany, thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview.
No worries.
And to get started, could you tell us a few things about yourself?
Yes, sure. So I'm Tiffany. I'm a nurse from Taiwan, and I came to Adelaide at the beginning of this year to study nursing.
Okay, and what are some of your hobbies? What do you do for fun?
I love hiking, and I like reading, and I like watching movies.
Okay, well today we're going to speak about a photo of yours that's interesting and important to you, and we'll learn even more about you. So, should we start?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Could you describe what we can see in this photo?
Yes, sure. So there are many people in the photo, and they're all dancing. And you can see most of women, they are wearing saree. So saree is a traditional Indian dress. And you can see in the middle of the photo, someone's hand in this position. There's some patterns on her hand. That is henna tattoo. So some of them had henna tattoos on their hands. And some of them wearing bracelets. Yeah.
Okay, that's a great description. So, where was this photo taken?
So it was taken in a city called Kota, and that's a city in Rajasthan, which is a northern state of in India.
Okay. And when was this photo taken?
When? I think it's 2020. It's actually at the beginning of COVID, so it's like January or February of 2020. Yeah.
Okay. And next question, there's a lot of people in this photo, but who are these people? Who can we see?
Okay, so it's a wedding. So they're all guests, of the wedding. And the most important, there are a few people, important people. Starting from the left, you can see a guy. You can only see a side of his face. He's actually with a red, yellow hat. And that guy is actually the groom. And the bride, she's right next to him, but you can't see her. You can only see the green saree she's wearing. And then you can see me, which is the girl smiling, the black hair girl smiling in the middle of the photo. And then for the two men standing in the front of the photo, and the guy in a white a white suit, he's the brother of the groom, and the guy in the blue suit, he's a brother of the bride.
So what was actually happening in the moment that this photo was taken?
So it's a very long. The wedding ceremony is this 3-day event, and so this is the last day. At least actually the most important day of the wedding ceremony, and then people were dancing at that time to celebrate. Well, actually, people were dancing all the time, with this at that moment. People were dancing to celebrate the wedding.
So now we're going to talk a little bit about the story behind this photo. I have lots of questions. How did you end up at a wedding in Rajasthan, an Indian wedding in Rajasthan?
A few years ago, I went to this vegan meetup, and then I didn't know anyone in that meetup. It's just like a bunch of strangers, vegan actually. We were together to have some food, to hang out, and then I met the couple, the groom and the bride. At that time, they didn't know each other, so that was the first time they met each other, and the first time I met them, and then I became friends with the girl. And then a few months later, she told me that she has a boyfriend, a guy that I know. And I was like, that's impossible because I know none of your friends. And then I realized that the guy was in that meetup at that night too. So yeah, and then 3 years later, they invited me to their wedding ceremony in India.
It sounds like a successful event.
Yes.
For them at least.
Yeah.
And for you. Right.
Yeah.
So what was it like to attend a wedding in India? It sounds like an interesting experience.
Yeah, it was very interesting. It was actually I would say it was one of the most unforgettable experience I've had. It's the food is amazing, and also the culture and people love dancing. Like they do. Like Indian people, they danced all the time, like during the wedding. And everyone can dance. Like, yeah, it's just they're all very good at dancing, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. And they have so much energy. Like because we were invited to dance with them. But after a few songs, we were like, this is actually very exhausting. But for them, they can dance for a really long time without feeling tired. Yeah.
Okay. And what was the food like at this wedding?
It's vegan. It was vegan food.
Okay.
So this is a vegan wedding.
Unpopular.
No, it's actually that this wedding was on a local newspaper because it's a vegan wedding, and then also the bride is a foreigner. So yeah, it's very kind of unique. So the food is good.
Okay.
It's good. It's very different. Indian food, it's very different from Taiwanese food. So yeah.
You said something interesting there that I didn't realize. So you said the bride was a foreigner. So she wasn't Indian.
She wasn't.
Where's she from?
She's from Taiwan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then the groom?
The groom, he's Indian.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Great. And I guess, wow, it sounds like an amazing experience. Is there anything else that you want to mention about the wedding or that stood out?
I just would want to talk a little bit about like why I chose this photo, the reason I chose it. I think it's just of course the experience is such a unique experience, but at the same time, I think the photo or the trip it really reminds me that reminds me of how unexpected life is. It's like because I've never thought in my whole life that I've never thought I would meet someone, I would know someone who would marry an Indian guy, and then I would attend their wedding ceremony in India. It's just, I've never thought about that, but it happened. So yeah.
Yeah, an amazing set of coincidences that three strangers would attend an event like this and then end up such good friends.
Exactly.
In another country altogether. Yeah. Wow, fantastic. So, one final question, Tiffany. What's something that you're looking forward to in the future?
It has nothing to do with the photo. So I'm looking forward to going to Japan.
Okay.
For a trip. So I've been thinking about it for actually before COVID. I wanted to go to Japan, but then something happened. I couldn't go, and then there were a few times that I was almost able to go to Japan, but yeah. So hopefully this year I can go to Japan. Oh, and by the way, the couple in this wedding, they just moved to Japan.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
You're going to visit them.
Yes.
So it is related to the photo.
Oh yeah.
And can you speak Japanese?
Just a little bit, not a lot. You mean can they speak Japanese?
Hello, can you speak Japanese?
No, it's just I'm still learning elementary level.
Okay. Well, that should be a lot of fun. How exciting. Thank you so much for sharing your story and doing this interview. It's an amazing photo.
You are, thank you for having me.
No worries. And thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the interview. As always, you can find all the questions and answers below in the description and a brief lesson plan for English teachers. So thanks again. See you next time. Thanks, Tiffany.
Yeah.